I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads. And we're going to ignore this giant bush that's going on with my hair today. I wanted to talk about my reading goals for the rest of 2023. It is November, so there's not a lot of the year left, and I may have forgotten a few of my reading goals for this year. In that I totally have. I've ignored them. So there is absolutely no way that I am going to achieve the goals I set for myself back in January, mainly because I forgot about them and ignored them. Instead, I have picked out some books that I want to prioritise for the rest of the year. I've got 15 books that I want to read before the end of 2023, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. I would love to know if there are any books that you want to prioritise and really want to make time for before the end of the year. Let me know in the comments, and if we have any in common, that would be really fun to know. I have split these into kind of sections. Yeah, they're kind of sectioned, starting off with series that I want to finish. Normally, I do keep track of the series that I'm reading, but I think if I really think about it, in my heart of hearts, I don't care how many series I've got on the go. I don't care. I'm happy to just continually add to my series and just watch the list grow and grow and grow. But there are 3 series that I have 1 book left of. There are more than that, but I've only added 3. So these are series that I want to finish them. The cat is having a bath next to me. I really want to finish these series. So the first one is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. I'm actually already partway through this book. I'm buddy reading it with some friends, so I feel this is definitely going to get read. This is the final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I am loving. I have given all of the series 5 stars so far, and I'm not a huge way through, maybe a third through. I'm loving this so far. But overall, my enjoyment will depend entirely on who, if anyone, does Evangeline end up with, because if it goes the way I don't want it to go, I'm gonna have some feelings and I'll be grumpy about them. I also want to finish the Glasgow Kiss series with Meet Me in Milan by Sophie Gravia. These are smutty books. I cackle when reading these. They're so funny, and Zara, our main character, is just so she's hilarious. She's the perfect protagonist in that she is so lovable, but she is like a chaos magnet, and her dating stories just make me howl with laughter. She finds herself in such ridiculous situations. So I am really looking forward to finishing off this series and hoping that Zara gets the happy ending that she so deserves. Last series that I want to finish is The Deathless Divide by Christine Ireland. This is the Dread Nation final installment. It's a duology, and this is set in a world where there is a zombie outbreak, and our protagonist is just this butt-kicking zombie fighter. She went to a school that basically trained her to defend people against zombies, and that's kind of her superpower. The first book was just utterly heartbreaking. She ended up being taken away from everything she knew and loved, and is like fought tooth and nail to get out of that situation, and now she is trying to find her mother and reunite with her, all the while there's zombies. There's zombies and there's bad people, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how this series ends. At the start of the year, I was so sure I was going to read a whole bunch of non-fiction, and then that ended up not happening. So I've added some non-fiction onto my list as well. I've got Unwell Women by Eleanor Cleghorn. This is about the way that women receive medical treatment and the way that women in the past have challenged and had medical systems completely changed. So this came highly recommended to me by a doctor, by my friend who just happens to be a doctor. And yeah, I think this is going to be really good, really eye-opening and really infuriating, in the same vein as my next non-fiction book, which is The Once and Future Sex by Eleanor Janega. I pre-ordered this book. Pre-ordered it and I didn't read it because I'm a fool. This is about women's roles in society in medieval times. Because so often when I read historical books, there is not a whole lot of focus on the female narrative. So that's what I'm hoping to get from this book. And I am ashamed to say that this book, The Instafood Diet by Pixie Turner, has been on my TBR since... Hello! Hi! Oh, you want to go now? Okay. I am back. The cat, he was very annoyed by me disturbing his sleep. The next book is The Instafood Diet by Pixie Turner. I pre-ordered this book in 2020 and I've not read it. This book takes a look at how social media impacts the way that we view food and nutrition and well-being. And I think that that's going to just be so interesting. I love when people post pictures of their delicious dinners and things on Instagram, so I think this is going to be a really fascinating and eye-opening look. I have some TBR veterans on my list. These are more books that have been on my TBR for over a year. It just happens. You get so excited about a book and then suddenly time happens and you don't read it. So I've got two somewhat chunky classics, and I know I've put them off because I felt a little intimidated by them. I have Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is about 900 pages long and is the gorgeous edition that I really wanted. This is a Russian classic and I'm not 100% sure what it's about other than it being about a lady called Anna Karenina. But having read War and Peace, I'm guessing that there's going to be a whole lot of side narratives going on and a whole gaggle of characters. So I'm very excited about this. And I also have 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This has been on my TBR maybe 3 times this year and I keep not reading it. I don't know why. I probably just feel really intimidated because I don't remember what it's about and it just feels like a book that all of the really smart people have read. So I kind of want to read it too. It's less chunky than Anna Karenina, but it's still about 500 pages. And one of my friends absolutely hates this book. She gave me her old copy and a request that I tell her how I get on with it because she wants to know if I hate it as much as she does. We tend to have quite similar reading tastes, so that's probably why I've put this one off, because if she doesn't like it, the chances are high that I won't. But then I'm going in with low expectations, so maybe I will. I will be starting one of these this week, so at least that's 2 guaranteed to be read so far. And the final TBR vet is an ebook. It is City of Brass by Shannon Chakraborty. I have had this on my TBR for about 3 years as well. I don't really remember too much about it other than it is high fantasy and I think there's a genie element, but I could be... little jingle bell boy at my door, but I could be making that up. I know there's like a form of magic and this is a trilogy and I really enjoyed reading The Adventures of Amina al-Sharafi. So I'm looking forward to reading another book by this author. I have some 2023 releases. These are not all pre-orders, but they are all 2023 releases. I have Rouge by Mona Awad. This is on my November TBR. This is 100% getting read. This is a social horror, I think somebody described it as. What I can tell you about this is I know it's going to be weird. It's going to be creepy. It is about a young woman who basically is obsessed with beauty and she finds herself welcomed into a spa, a very unusual spa that her mother was very into, and it's a little bit culty. And I'm getting Death Becomes Her vibes from this book. And if that ends up being the direction the book goes in, I am going to be delighted. I love Death Becomes Her. Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have loved every Silvia Moreno Garcia book that I have read, which is most of them. I'm very up to date so far with this author. There's a few backlists that are just really hard to get in the UK, but I've read most of her books and I love them all. This is about a film creator. No, it's a sound producer. I should remember that. I have friends who are sound producers. I should remember what they do. She finds herself living next door to somebody who created some cult classic films, and they end up working together on a project. But her neighbour seems to think that he is cursed, and to lift the curse they have to finish making the picture, the film. It's just gonna go a bit wild. I have had somebody say that this is a little bit horror, so I'm looking forward to that. And Speak of the Devil by Rose Wilding. This is a thriller. This is, I think it's locked room mystery. There are a group of people and they are in a room and there is a dead body, and they're all claiming that none of them did it. So it's just trying to work out, well, one of yous did, didn't you? It was one of yous. And secrets and lies are all revealed. I put this book aside to read in the winter season because it felt kind of wintry based on nothing at all. And finally, I had to add on some books from my initial 2023 reading goals because it just felt like I needed to. So we've got Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Oh, it's a big one. I added this to my TBR quite a while ago, so I don't really remember what it's about other than it is, I think, fantasy. There are competing magicians. It's set during the Napoleonic War and each side has a magician, I think. If that's not what it's about, that sounds really good. So if that's what this is about, I'm excited. The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. This is speculative fantasy. It's set in the UK. There is a competition to create the most beautiful winter garden, and whoever wins that competition wins like a wish, but they have to make a sacrifice to get that wish. So it's kind of like, oh, you want it, but oh, it could be, you know, is it worth it? And that's all I know. It's all I know, but that's all I need to know because that sounds magical and lovely. And the final book I'm adding to this mini sort of goal list is Ithaca by Claire North. This is a retelling of Penelope of Ithaca. I am loving all of the sort of reimaginings of Greek mythology from the sort of female perspective. I've had a really good time with all of the ones I read so far, so I can only imagine I'm going to really enjoy this too. Yeah, I think so. Oh, this is gonna go really badly. I'm gonna try and lift up my pile. Oh, right. Can this happen? Okay, these are the 15 books that I really want to read before the end of 2023. And I'm gonna put this pile down because I think it's gonna fall over, and also the cat is crying because he wants to go outside. If you've made it this far, please let me know how many of these you think I'm gonna get through before the end of the year. And thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go deal with the cat now. You wanna go outside?